What is up, my friends? How are you guys doing today? I hope wherever you're at, whatever you're doing great. I hope you're having a fantastic time, loving yourself, loving the people you're with, because that's what it's about, guys. We gotta love each other through all these crazy times in the world. Guys, the other night, couldn't sleep. One of those long insomnia nights where you hit the sack, and even though you get to sleep, you don't really stay asleep. So I said, you know what? Let's see what the old streaming services have to offer. So I flicked on the TV and I found a film that I've never seen, I've heard about all my life. It was made like 22, 25 years before I was born, something like that, but I've heard about it all my life. It's from 1968, stars Miss Jane Fonda. It's directed by Roger Vadim, and it is called Barbarella. Now, this is one of the strangest films I've ever seen, but I loved it. I thought it was awesome. And because I've seen a lot of weird movies, guys. When you love movies as much as some of us do, you see a lot of crazy, strange things. Some of them good, some of them not so much. But this was one of those that really piqued my interest because it was a product of its time. It was a time capsule, if you will, of an era of filmmaking that we will never, ever get back again. We got Jane Fonda. She's like a space vixen super agent. She's looking for Duran Duran, not the band. It's an evil guy named Duran Duran. She's looking for him. And then she like sexes her way out of every bad situation, right? She just screws her way out of everything. So, what? You're asking me. What? I'm going to tell you. We have her first opening of the film. She's in zero G taking off a spacesuit. I'm like, okay, well, young Jane Fonda floating around naked, I guess. We'll start with that. But this is so 1960s, guys. The whole premise is love, free love. On Earth, everything's love. It's all about love. Love is the currency of the hour. It's the currency of the realm. Love. Free love. Everybody loves everybody. But they don't do it like traditionally, like the animals that we are. You know what I mean? They ain't like the Bloodhound Gang song. They take a pill and they touch hands and they're like, kind of Demolition Man style, right? It's funny to watch. It's hilarious. And then we've got her flying around on a big old spaceship with shag carpet. And I couldn't help but laugh at the absurdity of this. But then she meets all these different people. There's like a guy who's like hunting like vampire children or some kind of weird little children on his planet, and he's wearing this fur thing, and he's like, he kind of like helps her. She gets knocked out. He rescues her from little vampire dolls, and then he's like, I want to make love, and she's like, okay, and she like goes take the pill and put her hand up, and he's like, no, I want to the Bloodhound Gang song, and so she's like, oh, we don't do that. That's nasty. We don't do that. But dude, she does it. And then she's like, wow, blew her mind, right? And it's just the absurdity of the situations. And then she meets a guy who's like a blind angel. He's like flying around trying to help her find Duran Duran. She meets the great tyrant who's another woman. And she's like, it's just wild, crazy 1960s storytelling, right? It is out there. But like when I watched it, I was thinking to myself, this is the kind of film that movies like Austin Powers were satiring. Like James Bond and the 60s free love movement and all that stuff. This is the stuff that we will never ever get again as a society, because we are so tight-cheeked around here that we just, everybody's against everybody instead of loving everybody. And so it's just like we will never be in sync like we were in the 1960s, aside from, I guess, war and famine and things like that. But that's beside the point. This film was an absolute product of the 1960s, mid to late 60s, and it was an interesting watch. I wouldn't say that it's a great film. I mean, it's science fiction in its wildest form. I mean, but it's good storytelling, though. I mean, there's an actual story happening, but she uses her womanly wiles to get out of situations, to capture the bad guy, and to save the day. But at the same time, she finds a little bit of love. She kind of discovers her own femininity in her body, right? It's an interesting film to watch, like I said, simply because of when it was made and the situations that it portrays, also the science. It's like they're doing stuff that I'm like, yeah, y'all didn't go to the moon yet or something. Like y'all haven't discovered antibiotics, anti-gravity. You haven't discovered any of that because your science, I mean, they've got stuff that it's like, wow. I mean, you'll see if you watch the movie. Their computer technology looks lame. It's like a transistor radio that they've diddied up some way to make it look fancy and futuristic. Like, it's very much Lost in Space, but on a bigger budget and with nudity. So, I mean, it's not bad. But would I watch it again? Yes, I would watch it again, but I would have to pair it with something like heavy metal or Flash Gordon. Like, I could totally. In fact, my friend Savannah was the one who mentioned pairing it, double featuring it with heavy metal or Flash Gordon. I could see that because the vibe of Flash Gordon and the vibe of Barbarella are very much the same. Just one is more, I guess, for the well, I don't know, guys. I would say they're both, one's for the teenage boys and one's for the teenage girls. But I mean, if you're a teenage boy and you're watching Barbarella, you're enjoying it, I promise. So I don't know, guys, but it's a good movie. It's an interesting movie. Check it out. You can find it streaming on Prime if you want to. That's where I found it, guys. I enjoyed it. I would watch it again, and I hope that you guys will give it a chance and just take in, we'll call it a period piece. Take in the period in which this film was made and just, kind of soak it in. Do a little research on it, That's it, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with me and talking about Barbarella for a little while. If you have seen it, let me know what you think about it in the comments. As always, my friends, I'm going to keep making them as long as you keep watching them. Peace out. God bless you, and I will see you soon.